What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arch. Obviously, like every day, we have some topics to cover. And the first topic I want to cover is that Denver officially, waived, I guess, both big men that they brought in for the preseason, which was Moses Brown and Kessler Edwards, two guys who I think some people thought that they were going to bring them in as that 15th roster spot just because they're, a backup big, somebody who goes down. I like the idea of having Moses Brown as that guy. I like the idea of having a third string center who's 7'3", who can, or 7'2", whatever he is, who can guard the paint. You have matchups against guys like Cornette, who are a bigger body. I like Val obviously as a backup big, but then you have the freedom to sit Jokic for a game if you needed to, just because you have that depth. Now you're running a guy like Zeke Naji out there, which I think we all know how everybody that's a Nuggets fan feels about Zeke and Naji at this point. But I liked the idea of having Kessler Edwards too. Defensively, he's good, was able to stretch the floor. I didn't like his fit as much just because I think that it dug into minutes for a guy like Deron Holmes if he is potentially going to play, and that's something that we'll talk about later on in the episode. But Denver did get rid of both of them. I'm not too shocked, though. I think that a good amount of people were sort of saw this coming just because why would you bring in a third center if you don't need to? Like I said, though, I thought the idea was good. I think that Moses makes a difference on certain teams he goes to. He's able to come in. We saw in the preseason he could give 8 minutes, and you could put up, or what was it, 4 minutes, 8 and 4 in those 4 minutes, just quick dunks, rebounds, just more garbage time minutes than anything. But I did like the fit, and I got to say I'm a little upset that they're not going to bring him in. But I also think that the market has a lot of good guys right now on it, and I think that there's people that Denver can bring in who can make a big difference. I think that Dinwiddie's a guy that can make a difference. I like Cody Martin. If we're still looking for a point guard, obviously Dinwiddie's out there. And if you're not going to go with the backup big, you're not going to go with the backup big. But that also brings me into this next topic. And that next topic is that Denver is one of 15 teams that will be starting the season with that 15th roster spot open. The list of other teams: Atlanta, Boston, Cleveland, obviously Denver, Detroit, Golden State, Houston, the Clippers, the Lakers, Miami, Minnesota, New York, Orlando, Philly, Phoenix, Toronto. So 15 teams, half the NBA, are going to be going into the season with that last roster spot open. I think that it's going to be a little bit of a battle for some people to go ahead and find the guys that they want to bring in. Obviously, we know that Spencer Dinwiddie got waived, but there's teams that can use that backup big, or that backup point guard, rather, who can, like the Knicks need one. I think the Knicks are in desperate need of a backup point guard with Brogdon just retiring out of nowhere. You look at Houston needs a backup point guard. I mean, they're going to have Reed Shepherd, but they're probably starting Amen Thompson at the one for now. And like I said, the Reed Shepherd's going to have his games. Maybe they just play J.D. Davidson, hoping that he is a good enough player to come in and get minutes, legitimate minutes for the team, and be able to, make a difference, an impact on the bench for them. They have Aaron Holiday, who is a solid vet at this point. Like I said, the market, it's not limited right now. There's a lot of guys who I'm very surprised are still free agents. Kai Jones is one of them. I believe he signed overseas. Elfrid Payton, another vet that I'm surprised isn't on a roster right now, and I would like him on Denver. A guy who came in last year, dished it out, had his assists. He only played like 15 games, and he took like a 3-year hiatus from playing in the NBA. But he was able to come back and play at a competitive level. I mean, listen, he was on the Pelicans, and they weren't anything great. But I'm also not saying that Denver needs to bring in this guy who, we keep saying, he does not need to be the biggest difference maker in the world. It doesn't have to be a guy who is going to come in. It's not a prime Steph Curry or a prime Russell Westbrook. It's a backup point guard, somebody who you need to come in and just play their part and do their role. Monte Morris is still on the market, And it's not even just point guards. You look at, the bigs. Bol is still on the market right now, obviously. A couple other guys just got waived, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But I think that the market is a little stacked up right now. I think there's some guys out there. Alec Burks is another guy that's still out there. Bol's out there, I just said. Cody Martin, like I just talked about. The market is still, there's valuable players. Markelle Fultz is another guy. He's 25 years old. Get him on a roster. He was good 2 years ago in Orlando, and then you get an opportunity with another team that the other team doesn't play you. And then what are you supposed to do? It's not your fault. It's the organization's fault for not playing you. Like I said, he was good in Orlando a few years ago. I liked him. I thought that he was, I think that he earned his way or a way to another roster, I guess. But I guess that I'm not a coach. I'm not a GM. So that's their decision, I guess, not mine. But I would like for Denver to bring in even Markelle Fultz at that point. Talking about, guys who are younger and can make a difference. DaRon Holmes is a guy I want to talk about, and how, like, the question is, how will he be this year? And I think that I talked to Stretch about it, and we had a little conversation going, and Swipa on X, big Nuggets reporter, insider on X, he said that he doesn't think DaRon Holmes is ready to play this year. And I don't disagree. I don't think that we've seen DaRon Holmes really get a fair opportunity, in my opinion, in preseason. I think that we saw him play with the second unit. And my whole point to DaRon Holmes not being ready just because people don't think he was good enough in the moments he got, which were, like I said, either garbage time minutes or he got minutes with other bench players. We didn't get the opportunity to see him play with the starting five. We didn't get the opportunity to see him play with a guy as high, with somebody that has such a high IQ like Jokic or like Cam Johnson and is able to help him, be in the spot he needs to be at, not worry as much, build that confidence. We got to see him play with Jalen Pickett. We got to see him play with Julian Strawther. I would have loved to just see, if he's not ready, he's not ready. And I don't want to force him to be ready. I don't want to throw him in situations where he's not good to go yet. But I would have also liked to see him just play a role with the team that, the team that he's going to be a part of, which is the starting five. I don't know how to break it down where it's just like, okay, this, to me, it wasn't fair. And I think that he deserved a better opportunity because I do think he did. And like I said, I don't want to throw him into a situation where he's not good to go. But there's no other way to build his confidence than to play with a guy like Jokic. I mean, like I said, I think last episode, 2 episodes ago, Jokic is a guy who trusted Russell Westbrook in a playoff game to hit a clutch corner three, and you're giving it to a guy that would probably never touch the ball in a clutch three-point situation. So having a guy like Jokic, being able to tell him, this is where you should, this is where you should be, or this is what you should be doing, and have the confidence, being backed by a guy like Jokic would be massive, and we didn't get to see that opportunity. So I'm a little upset that we didn't really, that there was no real film of him playing with that first five or a good amount of time. I'm not saying he had to start, but the game that Payne Watson started for AG, why not just throw him out there a couple minutes with those guys? I just think that he probably won't make a difference this year. He's probably not going to play. I think that we're just so excited for him as a fan base that we want it to work, and I don't think it will work. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is just some things that are happening around the league. Kevin Durant officially agreed to a 2-year extension, and it was team friendly. I mean, it sucks because it sucks as a Nuggets fan. It's great for Kevin Durant, but it sucks as a Nuggets fan because the Rockets are just going to continue to get better, I think. And I think that Reed Shepherd's a young talent. He's going to be good, I think. In my opinion, he's a dog. So he's going to be great. Tari Easton's going to be extended now just because KD's deal is team friendly. Cam Payne actually just got waived, which is very weird to me because the Pacers need a point guard. But now I'm wondering if they go out and try to get Spencer Dinwiddie. Like I said, the market is still open. And then, what we talked about yesterday, just the injuries. So there's not a lot going on right now, but I'm trying to cover whatever I can, just seeing whatever conversations I've gotten into with people. And if you guys want me to cover anything, please let me know down below. But that is all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we are actually a day away from NBA basketball officially starting. So I'm super hyped about it, but let me know if you guys want me to cover anything before the season starts. The last episode that will air before the actual start of the season. But I'll catch you guys later.